Alrighty, we're back. Oh, this braid. Okay, so I guess this video is my interpretation of your purpose, the purpose of life versus your mission in life, I guess. Um, so I want to say first what my definition is. Um, so for me, the mission, everyone's mission in life is, in fact, different and separate. We all have our own different interests and hobbies, things that just pull us in. So that's different, right? Our missions are separate, they are different. Your mission might not be like another. Um, rather than our purpose in life is something that's interconnected. Our purpose in life is, I think, what brings us back to oneness, what brings us back to wholeness. And um, it's something, I think it's funny. If you guys have seen the movie Soul, um, there was this part that used to really bother me. And it seems silly because why would it bother me? But and I think it was because I was so attached to, there is a reason we have to be here. There is, we all have a strong reason why we're here. It's because we are meant to do this or you're meant to do this. And not saying that's not true. Like you could definitely have like you can definitely like have something that you're supposed to do here, right? Something that your soul craves. But your mission and your purpose is so different. And I think when you try to weigh that heaviness onto your purpose of life, you gain this attachment, right? And that attachment can lead you to a sense of non-content, not feeling like things are okay, and not feeling all right with what you have right now. And it takes you, I think it can, make you feel, you can bring you into acceptance, but it can also bring you just as easily out of acceptance to it, out of acceptance of what is. Um, so I think the mission and the purpose are extremely separate. Um, so your mission in life can be, you know, you're called to help people, as in you're a doctor, you're a healer. That's something that your soul strives to do. Um, and that's something that is different within each and every soul. So one soul might be called to be a healer in that type of term or in that way, and some other soul might be called to be a musician, right? That might be something that your soul feel like it wants to accomplish here. But it's so different from our purpose, and the purpose, I think, is just so beautiful, and it's so simple, and we're all waiting, looking for that purpose to pop up, and we're mindlessly searching, what can it be, what is it, when in fact it is just to be. It's it's just to be. Your purpose is just to be with what it is. And the purpose of life, I think, what I was saying a little bit earlier, I didn't really finish my thought. um in the movie Soul, I can't remember if it was 22, 23, number 22, number 23, I think it was number 22. um wasn't ready to come down to earth, right? So never had the little earth badge. And so, you know um constantly throughout the movie, number 22, like, or actually in the beginning, when Joe was trying to help number 22 get her badge. Her, I don't even want to say her because it was just a soul, it was an entity, not even a, um not even a he or she. um but Joe was trying to help number 22 get the badge to get come down to earth. And so nothing was ready, right? Because number 22 was not ready to live. Number 22 was not ready to experience and live on earth. Um, and so those little badges, right? Those little badges were the missions. I'm going to, like, I feel like if you want to think of it in this terms, the little badges were the missions. But that last badge, that earth badge that allowed number 22 to come down to earth, is when is the purpose, and her purpose was to live. I keep saying her, it's not a her. Um, the purpose was to experience life. And I think also the purpose of life is to find yourself, is to find those little things that we picked before we came down here, to find those little things that identify with your soul. Um, but I think the main purpose is truly just to live, is to be, is to see what is, and to see how you react when those moments of the now happen, and to find yourself constantly. And I think that's something that I constantly think about, my purpose here. If I have to think about it as some extreme thing, because it's quite a simple thing when you think about it, um, is to find yourself. And I think if you want to set yourself on something as, I had to have some type of purpose here, have that be your purpose, finding yourself. And how do I think that's, if you had to have some type of purpose, that's the best purpose to have here, is how do I bring myself back to oneness each time? How, when no matter how many times I get lost, can I find myself again? And I think that's such a beautiful thing right there. Like, how can I find myself over and over again? Because that's the thing about life. Life is constantly changing, right? And if you choose not to change with life, you stay stagnant, right? Um, and you are denying yourself life at that point, because life, one of the contracts of life here is to have cyclical moments. And at some point, things change. That's just, I mean, you see it every day in nature, or not every day in nature. I mean, yeah, you can't see it every day in nature, maybe. But you see within the cycles of nature, we constantly go through different seasons. And what if Mother Gaia denied those seasons, right? What if you stayed in summer all year long? What if you stayed, I mean, if you stay in summer all year long, you are denying, like, that means you wouldn't have a winter. And you would be denying the soil time to recoup and, prepare for a new harvest. If you had winter all long, or like all year long, you would be denying a harvest, you would be denying the end of a death transformation. So transformation is something that has to happen. And I think at any point we are denying that self, or denying transformation in our life, we are denying ourselves the transformation, or denying our own transformation. And I think that's also, if you have to have some type of purpose in life, um, is to evolve. So it's about putting yourself in those experiences, even when they are hard. And I know that's easier said than done, right? That's something that I have to still work on, is putting myself in those experiences, and, giving myself, chances to grow. But it's something that's very important. I just think that sometimes we try to identify, like, even, okay, in the movie Soul, um honestly, just go watch the movie Soul, because I think it's such an important movie. I think it came out at such a great time too. But when Joe was talking to one of the Jerrys, um he was saying, music is my purpose. But look how unfulfilled he was when he put that as his purpose, right? And, he, sorry, I'm fixing my nose piercing. Um, he took himself out of the sense of life, because he was so in his own, this is my purpose, this is my purpose. And then when he looked at his life, he realized, like, damn, I'm living kind of sad life. I'm not living. Um, and it was funny when he was talking to one of the Jerrys. He was like, music is my purpose. And the Jerry was like, "Oh, you silly humans and your purposes." And I think that's so funny, right? We constantly try to find a purpose for being here, which makes sense, because our mind is trying to grasp, there must be some reason why things like this happen. There must be some reasons why I'm here. The mind is trying to grasp it. So, like, there's nothing wrong in questioning it and thinking about it. But in the end, I think what at least what I've been coming back to, My purpose is simply to just live. It's to be alive. It's to experience. It's to evolve. It's to grow. It's to learn. Because the soul is a student of life. A student of life. Sorry, I feel like I didn't say that clearly. But um and it reincarnates and uses different life forms, different bodies, different experiences to teach itself to grow as a soul. Because at the end, this is all my opinion in the end, by the way, but in the end, it's trying to get back to source. It's trying to get back to oneness. It's trying to raise itself in consciousness to get back to the one, to experience itself in multiple forms. So the idea of life is not so far from you. It's not so hard to achieve, to obtain. It's to be, it's to see, it's to experience, and it's to allow yourself to do so. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. How many times can I find myself? And that's what the soul wants. That is your purpose, is to find yourself. How many times can I come back to oneness? No matter how many times I lose myself, how many times can I come back? And I think that's such a cool part about a soul reincarnating, or a soul incarnating on earth. You lose all your memories, right? You come down here, age of 3, everything is gone, right? Like all your memories are gone, and your job is to find yourself again. I think that is so beautiful. The soul wants to experience itself over and over, and it's like it's challenging itself. How many times can I find myself? How many times, no matter how many times I lose myself, how many times can I come back to me? Can I come back to oneness? Can I find myself within divinity? Can I experience myself through consciousness, through different forms of consciousness? And I just think that's so beautiful. Isn't it? Isn't it? I think it's cool. I think it is so cool. So if you're struggling with what is this, it simply just is. Isn't it? It simply just is. Um, and I think, I don't know. I think life is profound. Life is an amazing teacher. Um, but I think we ourselves are even better teachers, because that's how you find yourself. Is I think that's my thing that I always tell people, or that I always just think about, is the fact that, one sec, sorry. Um sorry. Okay. Is that in this journey of finding yourself, right? Um don't shy away from your shadow, those shadow attributes of yourself, because those are the key to the light. Those are the key to new experiences, to finding yourself even deeper. Your shadow teaches you so much. So those moments when the shadow, I feel like we just took a big leap here, but I was just thinking about this, so I should say it right. Those moments when the shadow introduces itself to you in different forms, or reintroduces itself to you, represents itself to you in different forms too, identify it. You don't have to identify with it, but you can identify it. You can be questionable, be curious about it, because that's when I have learned so much about myself, is when I have been curious with those shadow attributes of myself. And it's hard to even acknowledge those shadow attributes, because sometimes when that shadow presents itself to you, you might feel emotions like shame or guilt or embarrassment that come with it. But it's also part of, like, it's also with you, right? So you might as well learn from it. It's your greatest teacher. I think our shadows are our greatest teachers. Our shadows and our egos, I think, I feel like sometimes when you're looking into spiritual things, they try to um like they sometimes it seems like people want you to banish the ego or banish the shadow. Now, do I think you should live through it? No. But should you be curious about it? Yes. It's one of your greatest teachers. It will teach you so much about you. And this is part of your journey here on life, is to experience yourself in multitude of forms. So why not experience yourself fully? Why not be curious about yourself? Be curious about those parts that you might find shameful, might find embarrassing, or guilty to even have that part of you. Why is it there? That's that's something that that's I'm a Cancer in my first and second house, and or Cancer rising and Cancer sun. Um, and those attributes of myself is to constantly take that root and see what's at the end of it. See what has caused that root to even grow there, to even spread its roots there. Why are things like this? Why are parts of myself like this? How, when I present myself like this, what was the reason? um, and I've been able to, I feel like, evolve so much as a soul, or experience evolution as a soul, is because I've been curious rather than limiting myself from those aspects of myself. And those aspects of myself are embarrassing sometimes. And sometimes the emotion shame comes, and I have to sit in that for a second and, you know, feel what that feels like, because the emotions of a human here on earth are quite vast. So, um, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. But I don't know, I just feel like I've been thinking about that so much recently, is that it is so beautiful to live. I know, like, the way things are, on this earth right now, things might be very questionable. All things happen because something is going to happen later on. Um, so I'm just trying to roll with it, rock with it, see what happens. But I don't know. I think a life within itself can be so beautiful. And I think when you zoom in too much on life, it's it makes life seem harder. So if you're having a hard time right now, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, until you could see things as a whole, and then see yourself as a whole. Um, but I don't know. I feel like that's a nice thing to sit on, to think about, to ponder about. Is that, how can I explore a little bit more? How can I explore myself a little bit more? Um, how can I live within my purpose? And that purpose being, how can I just live? What aspects, what am I denying myself in terms of living right now? Not saying, you know, you clear out your bank account and, um, you know, go on a trip. Not saying that, unless that's what you're going to do, but I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But how are you denying yourself life right now? In what ways can you be living more? Can you be experiencing more? Can you, and maybe it's not external right now. Sometimes it's internal before it becomes external. Sometimes it's exploring yourself, going deeper within yourself, so then later on you can go deeper with deeper in your external world too, because quite literally our internal world will reflect out into our external world. um, so, and I think about that a lot too when I think about animals, or that presents itself to me, or when I think about angel numbers that present itself to me throughout the day. you know it's presenting my inner world, it's presenting where I'm at currently. And I think that's beautiful too. And that brings us back to the idea of, everything is interconnected, everything is one with each other. Um, and if you are watching this video, that just shows you again that we are one, that how deeply we all tie into each other. And I just think that's such a amazing thing, gosh, I really love that. I love and I feel like that helps take the burden away sometimes. That I mean, ever since I was a kid, I felt like I was moving too slow. There was something big that I was supposed to do, and I was running out of time. And when you're when I'm just supposed to live, that takes away that burden. Because when you are just supposed to live, I think you kind of get into that flow state, right? Things don't seem so heavy. Yeah, am I making the right move? Am I supposed to do this or am I supposed to do that? But when you're allowing yourself to live, you kind of just sink yourself into the places that you're supposed to be. You take those chances that you're supposed to take because it's calling to you. Because that curiosity hits you again. You're like, well, what is this? Let me just try it, right? Um, so yeah, um, live a little. And again, I think the purpose and the mission are very separate. And I think when you start identifying your mission in life as your purpose in life, you gain some type of attachment, right? Because at some point, like say if your mission in life was to, I don't know, become a lawyer, whatever. What happens, not trying to bring fear into anybody, but like what happens if one day you get it, you're successful, amazing, right? You've reached that mission, but you call this mission your purpose. Your purpose in life is to become a lawyer. Um, but then one day the firm closes and you don't have a job. Like I'm not trying to be, negative or bring fear, but like attachments show you anytime you're attached to something in life, the universe might just show you what it's like to be without it too. So I think attachments are something that we all have to deal with in life because anything the only things on this planet that are eternals are our souls. Everything else, our bodies, our possessions, are not eternal. They're temporary. And I think it's funny that our souls our souls pick these temporary homes um, to experience things, and we start identifying ourselves with these temporary objects. Like you can start identifying, not saying like I, of course, I know myself as Kaya. I call myself Kaya. I see myself right here as a 23-year-old black woman. I see that. I recognize that, right? Of course, I can see that and recognize that. But truly, I also see and recognize and identify myself as a soul making home in a body. So I feel like we're taking another turn here. I think that's part of the way my brain works is to very make various turns. All right. So now we're talking about um, life and temporary things. Give me one quick second. I'm back. Okay. So, like I was saying, um, yeah, I think it's so funny how we, as these eternal, everlasting souls, pick these temporary bodies to live in. Well, actually, I don't think that's a problem. Picking something that's temporary to live in, make home of, because the soul is going to move on to the next thing without attachment, right? Um, but at least most souls. Um, but I think it's you know something that we have to recognize as humans too is that attachments weigh down very heavy on us. Like this is something I've had to learn recently, definitely in terms of like my relationship with money, my relationship with a lot of things, but definitely my relationship with money, um, is that things are temporary. The only thing that is not temporary that I will experience in this lifetime is my soul and the soul of another. Everything else will perish. Like everything else will leave at some point. So I myself, I think that helps me a lot with in terms of trying of not attaching myself to things, because none of this will come with me. When I reincarnate somewhere else, the only thing that will be with me and will be my soul. Everything else will not be. Um and this is funny, but I remember ever since I was little, I was like, I'm going to get, this is probably very private, but whatever. Um, ever since I was little, I don't have a lot of chest area, but when I like from middle school up to high school up to some of college, I was like, I'm gonna get surgery right here. I'm gonna get implants. Something changed within like the last couple months where I was just thinking, I was like, at some point, I'm literally going to leave this earth and this body will not be with me. I'm like, what's the point? What's going to be the point in spending all that money and then doing all that maintenance on myself, like keeping up with it years after, just for me to not take it to the next plane with me, just for me to not reincarnate with it again? I was like, it's not seeming so reasonable, but I don't know. I just thought I would share that. But I think that's something that I have to think about a lot too, and that I've been noticing too in terms of attachments, is that the only thing that gets to follow me into my next life is me, is, this is the only thing that is everlasting. And not saying to, because this body is temporary, that I shouldn't take care of it. I think because this body is temporary, that I should take care of it, that I should make the best use of it, make the most out of it as I can, feed it nicely, work out, be, take good care of this body, because I am, this is my soul's home for the next however many years that my soul wishes to call it home. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about that too, is that everything is temporary and the only thing that will be everlasting is you. So, not you as the body, but you as the soul. Sorry for that. Sounds kind of grim, but it's true. Uh, sorry. Maybe I shouldn't laugh. I feel sometimes when I get awkward, I laugh. Sorry about that. Yeah, I just want to talk about that too. But yeah. And I think, like, I don't, I feel like sometimes when you're like listening to tarot readings, people get a little scared when the devil card comes out. And I don't think the devil card is a scary card at all. I think the devil card is a very enlightening card. That's why when the devil card is in reverse, it talks about enlightenment. Um, so I think it's the way you view things too, because the devil card, when it's upright, can talk about attachments to things. And therefore, attachments to things that are temporary, because most attachments are tied onto things that are temporary, um, which is funny. Hmm. I have to think deeper about that. I'm gonna have to think about that. Attaching, like, why do we only attach to things that are temporary? And is it literally? I think I kind of said this earlier too, but is it because? Huh, I gotta think about that a little bit later, because I want to go a little bit deeper into that too. I want to know what you guys think about that too. Like, why do you guys think, as something that is eternal and everlasting, why do we grip onto things that are so temporary? Somebody explain. Because, like, sometimes in my head, I'm thinking, like, oh, it's, the universe trying to show you that. I mean, it's kind of like in the Wheel of Fortune card, right? If you know anything about tarot, what comes up must come down. It's also one of the laws of the universe that what comes up must come down. Um, is it because that if you attach to something, I don't know. Maybe it's just the overconsumption of I don't know. Maybe it's just the idea of not being content with. I gotta think about that more, because it's something about humans not feeling content, right? Because you can have something and then you can be okay with it. But why is it when it's no longer there? What is it? I gotta look deeper into that, guys. I want to look deeper into that. What do you guys think about that? What is, why do we attach? I know, I feel like I know the basics. I know the foundation, but what's deeper than that? Why do we attach? I understand, like, sometimes maybe it's because of, like, the emotion that we attach to it, the feeling that we get from it. I don't know, right? I I'll go, actually I do know. I know down on a soul level. I just got to go deeper a little bit later. But I think that's all I got for you guys today. Who stayed till the end? I know I did, but um yeah, that's all I got. I feel like that conversation took a couple turns, but we reached the end gratefully. Um and yeah, that was my little spiel. Hope you guys enjoyed. I wish you guys absolute love and light. I hope you guys are feeling free enough to receive and spread your love and light with others. And I will talk to you guys next time. And maybe in another video. Maybe somewhere else. We don't know. But yeah, yeah. Tell me what you guys think about attachments. What do you think about the idea of, if you do or do not believe incarnations, reincarnating, what do you think about the soul being everlasting? What do you think about, what do you think? I I want to think. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you guys think. What is life to you? What is the purpose of living to you? Is it anywhere in terms of what I think life is, or the purpose of life is? What do you think the difference between your soul purpose versus soul mission is? If you think there is a difference, or if you think it's the same, I want to know. Um, yeah, what do you think? I want to hear from you guys. Hope you guys comment down below on your thoughts. I sent you guys absolute love and light. I will talk to you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day, night, whatever, whenever this goes up, whatever. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye. Peace.